Welcome once again, my fellow manipulators of digital fate. I'm Richie, this is Capricorn. Today's deck, something very special. This is our first post-rotation brew. So all of the cards in this deck will still be standard legal after standard rotates later this week. So you can be safe, use your wild cards if you really like this deck. Nothing here is leaving standard. There is one exception, and we'll get to that when we break down the deck. But first, like the video, make sure to subscribe, hit that bell notification so you never miss an upload. We are currently trying to defeat the monster that is the YouTube algorithm, so we could use all the help we can get. Also, Thursday is our launch stream for Dominaria United, so it's a 12-hour long stream. We start at noon Eastern Standard Time, go for 12 hours until midnight. We're doing a community sealed event to kick it off, then we'll do a couple drafts, and we're going to finish off the day by going over a bunch of standard brews and trying out stuff in the new standard meta. It's going to be really fun, and we're going to use that to prep our very first deck text that will contain Dominaria United cards. So with all that out of the way, let's get to today's deck. So here's what we're looking at. Now, what I wanted to do more than anything was to create a sort of tap-out control deck that just absolutely runs over the opponent with value and utilizes the most value possible. Now, obviously, this is a post-rotation brew, and we're up against decks on the ladder in the games you'll see up ahead that are, you know, pre-rotations. So we're going up against some pretty powerful decks, but what we have here I think is powerful, and I think after rotation it's going to be especially powerful, especially when we can put some Dominaria United cards in here. So first off, we've got 2 Spirited Companions and 2 Bloodtithe Harvesters as our 2-drops that we want to drop on curve. Now, the Spirited Companion will obviously draw us cards, create value on the board that we can utilize later, and the Bloodtithe Harvester, while it's not drawing us cards, it is creating 2-for-1 value in that we get the Harvester, we get a blood token, we'll be able to use that blood token for a variety of different things, but also Bloodtithe Harvester is a great card in that it can swing at the opponent's face if we're playing against control. It puts pressure on the opponent, but also if we're playing against aggro or mid-range, we can utilize the Bloodtithe Harvester as removal. So being able to pick and choose what role this card fills depending on what we're up against is pretty special. You guys know, you've probably played with this a bunch or played against it a bunch. And part of the way we're utilizing some of that value is with 4 Rite of Oblivion. Now, Rite of Oblivion has flashback, so we're able to exile 2 different non-land permanents with this at different points in the game, which is way more value than we would normally get out of a removal spell. We can sacrifice the blood token that Bloodtithe Harvester makes. We can sacrifice the Spirited Companion after we draw a card. We've also got 1 Reckoner Bankbuster. This is also a 2-drop. We try not to drop this on curve, but it'll gain us value over the course of the game through card draw, and then, you know, be able to be a vehicle that we can crew to swing into the face if we need to. In the 3-drop slot, we've got 4 Brutal Cathar, because it's an automatic 2-for-1. We've got 4 Wedding Announcement, because it provides insane value while pumping out 1/1 tokens and sometimes drawing us extra cards, and then beefing up the whole team. We've also got 1 copy, just 1 copy of Soul Transfer. Now, when we have the artifacts out via Reckoner Bankbuster or the blood token or some other things that we'll get to later in the deck, as well as enchantments like Wedding Announcement, Spirited Companion, or Fable of the Mirror Breaker, this thing is packed with value. Now, that doesn't always come up, so I don't feel super confident having a 4 of this, but as a one-off in the deck, I think it provides a lot of value and it's definitely worth it. Speaking of that Fable, we have 4 of them. Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Everybody knows this card. On Chapter 1, you make a 2/2. It can swing and make a treasure token. On Chapter 2, you get to cycle 2 cards out of your hand to draw 2 more. And on Chapter 3, it'll flip into Reflection of Kiki-Jiki. Now, once it's Reflection of Kiki-Jiki, and the Summoning Sickness goes away, you can pay 1 mana, tap it to make a copy of any creature on the field. So if you need to just remove a blocker for 1 turn, you can make a copy of Brutal Cathar. If you need to draw a card, you can make a copy of Spirited Companion. If you need to kill something, you can make a copy of Bloodtithe Harvester, and it comes in with haste, it generates another blood token, and then you can sack the copy that's going to go away at end of turn anyway to give any creature -4/-4. Or if you've made multiple copies over the course of the game, it can be -6/-6, -8/-8. It gets really crazy. We've got 1 copy of Ob Nixilis, because again, it generates a ton of value. It can spit out 1/1s. We can sack tokens that we make with Fable that are going to go away anyway to this to get even more value. And especially when we're against control, it takes a lot of resources for them to deal with all the aspects of this card. Moving into the 4-drop slot, we've got 3 Wandering Emperor. Now, obviously, this is the core of the deck here. This is like the main thing it's sort of built around. The Wandering Emperor provides a ton of value because when we need to kill something, we can slam it down -2, exile it, and even gain a little bit of extra life. Otherwise, we can play it at instant speed, make a 2/2 blocker, or just play it at the end of their turn and make a 2/2 so that we can untap and swing with it, and maybe even make another one. Also, the uptick puts a +1/+1 counter on any creature we control and gives it first strike until end of turn. So again, when we're trying to close out the game, whether it's against control or aggro after we've swept the board, this thing provides a ton of value, and we don't mind getting an extra copy because the opponent almost always prioritizes it and removes it from the field. We've also got 1 copy of Sorin the Mirthless, because it does add a ton of value. We can uptick to draw cards, we can -2 to make 2/3 black vampires with flying and lifelink, and if we get lucky enough to get to the ultimate, we can -7 to just smash something for 13 damage and gain 13 life. Also, we've got 1 Edgar Charmed Groom. Edgar is pretty sweet because we can slam it down when we have a Bloodtithe Harvester on the table, or a token from Sorin the Mirthless, and those creatures are immediately going to get a buff from Edgar, swing in for more damage. But also Edgar's great because if it dies, it'll come back as the Coffin, and then the Coffin will spit out more tokens every turn that are lifelinkers, and then eventually flip back into Edgar and buff those tokens, as well as any other vampires we have in play. Now, what's special about Edgar in this deck is there's a lot of things we want to sacrifice creatures to. So when we put Edgar onto the battlefield, we can sack it to Ob Nixilis, we can sack it to Rite of Oblivion, you know, and we can generate some extra value off of Edgar, and it's still going to flip into the Coffin, it's still going to make the tokens, and it's going to come back eventually. So we don't lose a creature like we normally would, sacrificing any other creature in the deck. So tons of value there. At the top end, we've also got 4 copies of the Meathook Massacre. Now, this is our board wipe of choice, because we get to generate extra value by draining life from them, making them lose life, making us gain life, depending on what dies on the board. And a lot of times that can make the difference, especially with all the tokens this deck can create with Wedding Announcement, with Fable of the Mirror Breaker, with Edgar, and that sort of thing. So Meathook, obviously staple, gets us a ton of value. And then we have 1 copy of Farewell, and the reason Farewell is in here is because there's just some things that we can't kill. Like the goddamn Tarrasque. Or 10. Oh god. Now, I'm not proud of that moment, and I never want to repeat it again. We've got 1 Farewell in here because if we're desperate and we ever encounter that moment again, we can at least hope to draw into a Farewell, which would be nice. In the land base, we've got some slow lands, we've got the pathways. Now this is the one hang up I was talking about earlier. The entire deck is post-rotation. None of it is rotating out with standard this week, except for these pathways. But we need the pathways in order for the deck to function until we can get the new pain lands that are coming with Dominaria United. So we did cheat a little bit. We have pathways in this deck. They're subbed in for the pain lands that'll be coming in. So give me a break. We've also got 1 Eiganjo, 1 Takenuma, 1 Sokenzan, because obviously you need one of each of those. Ultimate value. And then we've also got 1 copy of Roadside Reliquary. Again, this deck does a decent job of putting both enchantments and artifacts onto the field, and it's not uncommon to be able to sack this to draw 2 cards. Now, we don't want more than 1, because if we desperately need a color, and we just have a couple Roadside Reliquaries on the field, sometimes that stings. But as a one-off that we can get a little extra value off later in the game, it's pretty good. So this is the deck. You just slam everything on curve, you gain all the value, you try to synergize your stuff, and you hope you just gain more value than your opponent and win. So let's check out the games. I am confident. Confidant. This looks fine. It's not amazing, but it's good enough. We could Shattered Sanctum on 1, Sokenzan on 2 for a Bankbuster. And then hopefully we draw into some stuff, but at the very least we can start drawing cards. Maybe we don't Sokenzan. Yeah, let's do it this way. Get our second black. Since both Sundown Passes are going to give us two red and then pop us up to 3 white, we don't really need to waste the Sokenzan as a land unless we desperately need it as our last land drop. Play Sundown Pass. I think we just draw a card. Probably do it during his turn, to be honest. We could play an Ob Nixilis, but I don't love it. Plays a Predator. Well, we've got an answer for that. Alright, we'll draw a card. Takenuma, Meathook Massacre. So we don't want to quite Meathook. What do we want to do? We could write, but we're going to need something to sack to the right. I think it's probably better to just Wandering Emperor, to be honest. We're going to pass the turn. If at any point that Predator becomes tapped, we will Wandering Emperor. If it doesn't, we'll probably just draw a card. Alright, Exile. Very good answer to the Predator, that's for sure. Definitely does not like that it exiles.
You are not much of a roadblock.
And he does nothing with his 5 mana. Oh boy. Oh boy. Let me think really quick. You want to uptick, put the counter on a creature, right? 3. If we could 2. That's not quite enough. So I guess we just want to probably Sokenzan. So we'll play out Takenuma. Play out the Wedding Announcement rather than the Sokenzan. We'll uptick and submit 0. And we'll just pass the turn. We'll make a token that can trade with the Ghast. Or if he doesn't swing at the Emperor, we keep it and we use it to Rite of Oblivion. Oh, okay. He's gonna do it that way. It seems weird to me though, unless he's got a hasty dude. Because Emperor is up to 2. Alright, so you hit it for 1.
Big mistake.
Play another mountain. What is next? Ob Nixilis, sure. We're definitely gonna have to Rite of Oblivion.
After 1,000 years, finally, a new cause.
Upticks, we will take the damage. Decline.
Defy me, and you
Alright,
lose
we'll draw.
everything.
Wedding Announcement and a Spirited Companion. We'll play Sokenzan. Play Spirited Companion. Draw another card. I guess he doesn't like that. Infernal grasps his own creature. Interesting. That's fine.
Until next time, then.
Like, that's a huge waste of resources on his end. To be honest, I kinda love it. In fact, I'm just gonna go for it. I don't even need to Rite of Oblivion right now. We're just gonna put out our own Ob. He doesn't have cards to pitch. We do.
I'm gonna remake this town in my image. Shake down the locals.
We can get our Ob Nixilis train rolling, and then next turn we can deal with his Ob Nixilises. Decline for now.
Pleasure doing business with you.
Decline for now.
Defy me, and you'll lose everything.
Let's see what he's got. He meat hooks. That's fine.
Oh, you're quite the nuisance.
Plays Kalane. Sure. Sure. Bloodtithe Harvester swing seems good. We have another 4 mana left over. So let's do it this way. Bloodtithe Harvester. Rite of Oblivion. Sack the blood token. Crew with the Harvester. Swing at the 3 loyalty Ob.
No one beats me and
Uptick.
survives.
Uptick.
Your punishment.
And then we could Rite of Oblivion again if we wanted to. I don't think we need to. I think it's better to keep our aggressive plays. We just do it next turn if we need to. We can sack the pilot or something. Goldspan. Coming at one of my Obs. That's fine. We'll Rite of Oblivion the Goldspan. And then swing at the other Ob. Decline. So, first off, guess we just swing at the Ob regardless, right? We don't even need to kill the Goldspan. Swing. And then, post-combat, we can Rite of Oblivion the Goldspan Dragon by sacking the 2/2. And then we can uptick. And then we can play
and you lose
Fable. End the turn. Guess the only thing I would have done differently is played Fable earlier, so I could have swung with the Bankbuster as well. We'll keep this. We'll lead with a Mountain, just in case we draw another black source, and we can hold on to Takenuma for now. We're gonna go Takenuma into Bloodtithe Harvester. Better to push some pressure on our opponent if we're in a position to do so. Play Shattered Sanctum. I don't think we swing. I think we just Wedding Announcement. Farewell, huh? Well then. Next 2 damage. Sure. We'll end the turn. We're going to Wandering Emperor. Solve that. Oh, nothing we can do there. What does he get for free? A forest. Well, that's not so bad. Get rid of the underdog so we can't bring it back.
I'm not overconfident. You're just underwhelming.
And he scoops. My goodness. This is fine. We'll keep this. My doggo is scarfing some food in the background. So if you hear it, that's what it is. Alright, turn 1 Shipwreck Marsh. We're going to lead with a Shattered Sanctum. Make sure we have access to our black. Alright, Esper Control most likely. We'll play Sokenzan down. And we'll play Spirited Companion. Jawari Disruption. So maybe it's just Esper Control. I do feel like if he was playing Rafine, he would have played one. He would have played a creature turn 2, and he would have played a Rafine that turn. So I don't think he's actually playing Esper Rafine. I think it's just Esper Control. Negates my wedding announcement. Well, if we keep forcing him to 1-for-1. Pass turn. Then he can't play card draw spells and things like that. So that's not bad. Wandering Emperor.
Finally, I'm home.
Would you like to destroy it? Sure, but we're gonna make a dude first. Seems like a pretty good trade-off. Play this on black. 5 mana. I think we can wait on Edgar. We'll go with Wedding Announcement, Bankbuster, Swing 2. So we have a lot of value on the field now, and the only way he can deal with it is Farewell. And he probably will, and we will be very sad. So we have to keep that in mind. Doomscar. Sure. We need something. We'll crew off of Edgar. I kind of want to draw cards with the Bankbuster in order to recover from the eventual Farewell. But I really think we just need to get Edgar down now, capitalize on if he has targeted removal, and get in for some damage with Bankbuster while we can. Alright, so he's going to exile Edgar. That's fine.
This is what you get for hurting my
Tis what it is. So I guess we'll just go swing here. And then we will draw a card. And then I think we'll just play Brutal Cathar. Since we're probably not going to really need it. Now he has to sweep again. Which means if he does plan on Fabling turn 6, he kind of wastes one of the sweepers, in a way. Alright, that's fine. That is fine. We will Spirited Companion. We will Fable. I think we'll hold on to the Takenuma. And then we'll crew the Bankbuster with the 3/3. And we'll swing in for 9. We are now presenting lethal. He absolutely farewells. And then we have to recover. Which is sort of heartbreaking. But we have to play to our outs. And I believe our outs, our way to win this game, is to hope he doesn't have the farewell yet. Even though most likely he does. Does he not have the 6th land? He doesn't. He doesn't have the 6th land. Maybe he doesn't have the farewell either. Vanishing Verse. Good lord. We discard Rite of Oblivion, Takenuma. See what we can draw into. Play land. Oh, he scoops! I think we keep this. We'll start with a Sundown Pass. Follow it up with a Blightstep Pathway on black. And play the Spirited Companion. Maybe we don't play the Spirited Companion. Maybe it's better to be aggressive right now. So we'll play Bloodtithe Harvester. Plays a 3rd land. It's looking like Bant. Are we gonna see the Ascendancy? Nope. Wandering Emperor.
I've learned much.
Main phase, Wandering Emperor.
May your blade strike true.
That is bizarre. Very, very bizarre. Well, this is a no-brainer. We eat the token. And then we swing at the Wandering Emperor with our Harvester. Pass the turn.
I guess that's that.
Just value on top of value, boys and girls. I think the Brutal Cathar was a good idea. I also think the 3rd Wandering Emperor was a good idea. No Bit says, it's a display of dominance. He's showing he's not afraid of you by playing main phase Wandering. Is that what it is? I believe you. Do we just slam a Fable, or do we try to top deck a land with Spirited Companion? Does have protection from werewolves, so we won't be able to attack with Brutal Cathar. We really just need to eat that guy, don't we? We're just gonna do this. We're not gonna get greedy. We're gonna sack the blood token. We're gonna eat Catilda. And we're gonna swing 5. Alright, is he gonna fill up the board with guys? If he can go wide enough this turn, capitalize on the Broker's Ascendancy, he might be able to stabilize. Duelist. Yeah, but we have Rite of Oblivion right there, dude. Right there. Do we want to sack the Brutal Cathar? No, we can do that anytime. We can do that anytime. Let's play Sorin out.
I bring more that is broken. You deal with this.
We'll just put more value on the field first. It doesn't really matter how many tokens this thing gets. We can exile it with Rite of Oblivion, and all is right with the world. Swings with a 3/2. No blocks.
Without me,
Go ahead and take the Sorin. Go ahead and take the Sorin. Let's see, we'll go... Don't want to kill Denick, right? Alright, I think we're going to do it this way. We're going to play Edgar. Swing, swing. He'll trade with the Harvester, that's fine. We'll gain 3. Now we chump block with Edgar, because then we'll make a vampire on our turn, and we'll use the vampire to sack to Rite of Oblivion to get rid of the duelist. Does get to investigate, which is kind of a bummer, but it's fine. Let's see, if we had an enchantment in play, we could soul transfer and get back a dude. That's probably better than Rite of Oblivion, right? So let's do that. Let's go like this. And then we will soul transfer, select both, get rid of you, get back Sorin. He's gonna draw. That's fine. And then we'll swing with boys, gain some more life. Seems pretty alright. Probably just block with the Spirited Companion here. Or we could save it. One, two, three, 4, 5. If we double spell, we can eat the duelist without even having to sacrifice anything. Can we double spell? No, we can't. No double spells here. So I guess we just gotta go... Yeah, I think this is better. Sack, I guess we'll just sack this guy. I was tempted to Brutal Cathar. Okay, that's something. Well, we'll swing in 2, I guess. Alright, we'll grab a Plains. See, now we can double spell next turn, which means we can just eat the duelist with the Brute. Oh, now we can really go to town. Yeah, we'll do this, and we'll do this.
vengeance. Bloody
Move to combat, and we'll swing with just this guy. We'll down tick and make a dude, and then we'll eat him.
You fight for me now.
Which is pretty cool because even if he kills the Cathar and gets his guy back, he loses all the counters. Swinging with Ardent Grazer. I missed that earlier. No bits. It's funny when I read your name, I think like, no, bitch. Thanks so much for checking out my channel. We are pushing hard for that 1,000 subscriber mark, so please consider subscribing. Hit that button. There's a circle in the middle over there. Hit that. Subscribe. Tell all your friends to do it. Thank you. Also, give this video a like so more people can see it. If you'd like more PlayStation and console game coverage, we've got that down below. And if you'd like more Magic the Gathering coverage, there's more of that somewhere off over that way. Do all the things.